Is that better?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Okay.
Sorry,
Just
I wasn't hearing anything. Thank you.
you didn't miss anything yet.
Oh,
All
good.
right. Are there any changes to the agenda for tonight's meeting? Was the first thing, and in the absence of that, is there a motion to approve the minutes from June's board meeting?
Everybody, I'll move.
Thank you. Second? Second. Thank you. All in favor? June's minutes, say aye.
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 Okay. So we have ayes for the June minutes, and I think the motion passes officially. Okay, Claire?
Did everyone have a chance to see the report that I did? One change I made to it was the front door. The company we've been working with on the front door is insistent that they need to remove the entire plate of glass out front. And it just wasn't sitting well with Michael and I, and we asked them if maybe they could build a little bump out and do it that way, and they said yes, and then they came back at us and they said no, and so we asked around much deeper and we came up with another company over in Rutland, and they spent a considerable time here this past Friday looking at the whole thing and taking measurements, and there were 3 people from the company all in on it at the same time, and they're going to send, they have different ideas completely from the first company. I said to them, if there's no way to do the glass, is it possible to replace the arched wooden doors that were originally there and were removed 30 years ago? And so that is now an option on the table. And just forego the front door altogether. So we would keep the glass door open all winter. It would be cold in the lobby, but we would have wooden doors that you would have to pass through. That would become our permanent library doors. Does that make sense?
All right. So the area where the books are
Would be open during open library
open
hours.
to the weather.
We would close it at night and lock that door just like we do now.
Yeah.
They're gonna come back to us with plans and prices for both ideas.
And this satisfies the accessibility?
Yes, yeah, there's enough space regardless of which option we choose, there is enough space to make it compliant.
Okay. So the hiccup in that plan is that the book foyer is gonna be,
Would be exposed to
Open
the
to
elements
the-
through the winter,
Just the
well,
cold.
to the cold, not, I mean, it's not so snowing. Rain would be blowing in, but it would be cold.
it's a polite way of saying you're gonna freeze your, you know what off.
Well, everybody has been every year until this past winter anyway. Until we had it fixed.
Would it really be freezing if people are out there shopping for books?
It's been very cold.
Yeah.
Freezing,
It's
probably not.
So it's no different than last year.
Last year we had the heater fixed out
Right,
there,
but
but the
before
prior
that.
year, exactly right.
Yeah.
It's,
Electric.
it wreaked havoc on our electric bill last winter to have those heaters fixed.
Significant.
Mhm.
Could have had a net increase in book sales.
Grab and go, people will be grabbing more books. Anyway, so it's all back on the table and we'll see what we get.
So it's not simple, obviously, working with all that glass. Do they have, and so they're gonna propose, and do they show you drawings? Do you feel like they're
Yes.
approaching it from an architectural
Oh,
standpoint? A
absolutely.
mechanical sort of engineering
Absolutely,
standpoint?
absolutely. And the second company that we're working with really thinks that they can add a brass plate underneath the existing black brass plate and put a unit on that, and so that we can make the existing door automatic. But they're gonna run it by their engineers and see if it will indeed work. There's a lot that goes into it, much more
Yeah,
complicated.
what about the first company? What did they talk to you about? Why?
They have gotten back to us. Michael has been dealing with the first
Yeah.
company, and he's called them twice now within the last 10 days. When they called and said, we don't think the bump out will work. We have to go back to the idea of removing all the glass. And they left that voicemail. Then Michael called them and said, well, let's talk. Why is it that that is the case? And we are still waiting to hear back from them.
Interesting.
So that's where we stand with that.
Nothing's ever easy.
I'm sorry?
Nothing's ever easy.
Oh, gosh, no, nothing is.
Did the Rutland company give you an idea of how long it would take for them to get you whatever they're gonna put?
No, but he did indicate that once we got the ball rolling, it would go
Okay.
in a timely way.
He
It
understands
wouldn't
that
be,
we're trying to.
it probably won't be this winter, I wouldn't think.
Mhm.
But, maybe it depends on which option we choose. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But it was funny because it was a very busy day, and the poor guy that was here, he was just gobsmacked at how many people were coming and going, and he was trying to measure the door, and he was just, I never knew a library could be so busy. It's pretty funny.
Good for him to see.
Yeah, it was good for him to see. So there's that. The courthouse next door, I don't think I ever realized, and I wonder if any of us ever realized, that we actually own all the land behind the building. The land right outside the courthouse as well is ours. The courthouse wants to put in a generator. I don't have any problem with the courthouse putting in a generator over in that far corner by Court Street. But they have to get our okay.
So we own the land behind the courthouse?
Mhm.
Interesting.
We own all that land back there,
Which chunks into the parking lot. the
which
whole
chunks
thing.
into the
Yeah,
parking lot,
yeah.
the whole thing. So outside the courthouse, if you come out the back door of the courthouse, there's that brick wall, and then it goes this way along Court
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah.
Right in that corner there, they want to stick a generator.
Is landscaping necessary? Or are they including it?
They haven't said,
Yeah.
I imagine they would. There's no reason to think they wouldn't be good stewards of the whole thing and do it well and do it
Sure.
appropriately.
We say yes, that can be part of.
Right.
Does there affect our insurance in any way, I wonder?
That's an excellent question.
And do they need an easement, and I just don't know what.
Again, attendant consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Something.
and we need to be aware, it's not just a unit that's gonna sit on top of the ground. There's also things that are gonna get buried and have to go into the building. They need
Right.
they need a fuel source. I don't know whether they have propane or whatever, so wherever they're.
I believe it will be
Yes.
propane.
But wherever that is, they're gonna have to have an underground,
Right.
line going through, and then you have to also have lines that go into the house, to provide the.
Michael has all the specs for it. He asked me if I wanted them. I said I would speak with the board. And then if we need the specs, then I will forward it to everyone or whoever wants it.
So we would probably want some kind of release of liability from that.
Right.
To include the propane tank.
Mhm.
Kids playing.
We also need to see if it does anything to our insurance rates, I don't know, if it would, because, even with a release, I don't know, what would completely
No.
covered,
You get a hold harmless.
And that's,
And the certificate goes to our insurance company, so we're clear.
okay,
So maybe in general, we can gather the overall board's approval or not. And
To
then,
move forward with investigating.
yeah, to then be backed up with whatever it's decided we need to have in writing
Okay.
and from an insurance standpoint.
Is there any way to monetize it?
I don't know.
Well, Speaking of that,
Release of $1 million.
we are going, well, it's not really the courthouse. We are going to have to start talking about the new parking lot lease, which is,
Yeah.
which ends at the end of next year, but we signed the agreement in November of this year.
Yeah.
So
Town,
that's the town.
yeah,
Yeah, who then turns around and rents it to the courthouse.
that we're dealing with the,
I'm sorry,
is this the federal government with the courthouse or is it?
county.
I'm saying the town's good side, but
I think we should give Claire authorization to proceed with a vote on this. So I would accept a motion to if somebody wants to present a motion to approve the idea of allowing the courthouse to use our property for a generator. Is that how we should
Donald's.
word that?
Donna,
I think we need a little more information. I mean, I thought we were gonna agree that we'll look into it further and see what exactly, what kind of liability we'll have and whether it infects our insurance and what kind of conduits, what they're gonna dig out. This is not a temporary structure. This is permanent, you know? It's
Mhm.
not just a, you know, I assume they're putting in a whole building generator, a big generator. I don't even, like how big
You
is
don't
the
think
thing
it's-
they're putting in?
I think fairly small, the way Michael was describing it.
Is it an adjunct or it's for the?
It's for the whole building.
Yeah,
But it's
so
not gonna
it'll
run
be fairly
everything.
large, you know, we have one on, you know, a full house generator on our house and it's not small, you know. And the courthouse is at least as big as our house is, so it's, you know, it's a sizable piece of equipment.
Well, why don't
I
ask
don't know,
Michael for the
I'm not
specs and then
comfortable
we'll
with it
send
right
them
now.
around.
Yeah,
Why can't we just have you talk to the people at the courthouse saying that the board is generally open
Yeah.
to this? But we would need to have a lot more information
Okay.
and discussion.
And I'll give the information to all of you. So
Yeah,
that you can all
yeah.
be in on.
And
Is it
there are,
real?
you know, I think if it's on our property, we also need to make sure that they're complying with all the requirements of the setbacks on how far you know, the generator is from other things. And, you know, we have very little information and, you know, yeah.
Right, well, we can get all of that.
So
Yeah.
we're giving Claire the nod to proceed with
Yes.
gathering information.
Right,
Mhm.
So
there we
go
go,
away.
the nod.
I move we allow Claire to proceed with investigating
Well, I
the
will.
feasibility of allowing them to have a generator on the library property.
I will. Um. The man, Peter, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Young Bucker, he lives across the street, wants to donate a painting to the library. Our policy, our gift policy states that that has to be approved by the board. It's a painting of, it's a Simon Bull painting of the American flag with 15 stars on it. I actually kind of liked it. I went over to his house the other day, saw one of them. He says there's two such paintings, and he's convinced the artist to donate the second one to us. It has a value of roughly $20,000. We here in the library have all been talking about it, and originally I was thinking, you know, it just really doesn't fit the aesthetic of the library. It's bright and it's colorful and it's red, white, and blue. And but then someone said, you know, a good spot for it would be right outside the history room upstairs, because it is a historical piece. As you come out the history room and start to walk down the stairs, there's that big blank wall right up there. And it really would be.
Don't we have an art committee?
We have in the past had an
I
art,
thought we recently fielded one, but
but
yeah.
that was for
Okay.
a different.
Oh, it wasn't an ongoing committee. It was for an event.
That
Okay.
was for that on purpose. Anyway. That's out there. If we want to accept this painting or not.
It has somewhat of a historical significance.
It has-
because It's the flag of the United States when Vermont entered statehood.
Exactly right. And it is a nice painting. I mean, wherever you stand on the flag at the moment, but painting itself is kind of nice.
Is the artist local?
I don't think he's a local artist.
He's based in LA. He's from the United Kingdom.
Mm.
We have to insure it or.
Yeah, so we need a
insure the
writer
for a specific art piece.
No, we have called the insurance company for different various art pieces that we have taken in over the years, and they say that we are insured for art.
But
And
we've
not-
acquired a few pieces.
We have acquired,
Yeah.
when we acquired this one, which is valued at
Yeah,
quite
a lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called the insurance company and they said that it was not a concern that it would be covered.
Oh,
And I told them the value of it at the time and
Yeah,
I think if we accept it, it would be good to put a little plaque underneath it explaining that it's the flag when Vermont was.
oh, absolutely.
Cause I know the Betsy Ross flag, the 13 original,
Mhm.
been like co-opted by militia groups and
Right,
stuff. And so if people aren't counting correctly, I just wanna make sure
Right.
there's not that negative association.
yeah, no, it would definitely have that underneath it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Is there a motion to accept this Simon Bull piece of artwork?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
change and have art.
So nice, thank you.
I will have a what?
Art sale.
I know, but someday, maybe someday.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I
that's
just,
great.
I didn't want to accept it without having a specific spot in mind to put it. But when someone suggested outside the history room, because it's a historic piece,
Mhm.
it's fitting to have it near, in the vicinity of the history room. And that's a really a perfect
does he
spot.
have any specific expectations of placement?
He did not indicate that
Maybe
whatsoever. No, he
Peter.
didn't. Did not indicate whatsoever. And his wife was lovely and she said, you know, I fully understand that this has to pass by the board. And if you guys do not want it, do not worry, it's fine by us, we're just making the offer. So,
Great.
I think the description is a good idea too.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
funny
yeah.
how the flag has been co-opted, but
yeah, it's unfortunate but true. Okay. Let's see if I have anything else in here that hasn't been brought up.
Snow guards?
Snow guards on the roofs. We have got to get snow guards on the roof. Last year, we had to close the handicap ramp. I don't know if any of you remember that. That was a lethal situation, the buildup of snow and ice crashing off of the roof. So that has got to be done. And we admittedly didn't know one company from another when it came to that. So we did ask, we asked Phil Robertson, who we have worked with many, many times on the building committee, and he reached out to
Eric.
Thank you, Eric Tobiasen, who said that we should go with Jankowitz. Although it's more expensive, he said they're a better company, they're more well-known, they stand behind their work, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, good, probably a good recommendation.
But because that is over $10,000, I think that needs a vote.
Okay. All right, so that's, we're voting on a 14,000, roughly $236 estimate.
Right,
Is it an estimate or is it a quote,
that was a quote.
firm quote? Okay.
will that be reused when we redo the roof? Do you have any idea?
I don't think we're redoing the roof in our
Lifetime?
lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, I think of my lifetime like a 20 more years or something. We're on the same, okay.
You-
So good, I just wanna make sure what that number is. Okay, good, okay,
Yeah, no,
Okay.
the roof is not being redone in our lifetime.
okay.
So, and the current ones up there are 30 years old. And they're broken.
Cool. Well, that seems to be a different approach as well. A more thorough approach to
Yes,
snow, whatever.
yeah,
Charging.
they can do it with fall.
Okay,
Yeah, they can do it before the snow flies.
Does anybody have any, before we take it to a vote, any further questions for Claire on it? Right, is there,
I have one question. Are they
Yeah.
going to be able to do it before the winter? Is that a
Yes.
quick project? Okay.
Yeah.
And it does seem like they're putting more actual bars across than we have there now. I looked,
Right,
I'm not in town, but I look at the picture that you had in the packet and it looked like we only have 2 bars now. Now they require
and
on both sides.
it's never been sufficient, even before they were broken. They're broken now, but even then,
It's
it
a
was
steep
never
roof,
sufficient.
you know, it's a steep roof. I assume if you get, a really good snowstorm, you're still gonna get snow down on that, on the ramp.
Probably, but you
It's
won't
not all
have the
kinda hanging on the-
buildup.
Okay.
Is it possible to clear it? Like, do you guys clear the snow?
Yeah. When it comes down, it weighs tons. It's not just a question of snow falling. It's a question of tons of ice and snow falling.
And it's the ice we're most worried about.
Right.
yeah, that's not a good roof rake situation.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
no.
not.
Breaking, I meant like after it falls.
And you couldn't even get a snow blower to move it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Concrete.
That makes sense.
Is there a motion to proceed with the roof snow guards?
Motion to proceed.
Who was that? Priscilla.
Priscilla, and a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, and yeah, and that is everything unless somebody had question about anything on the report.
All set?
Okay,
Okay, thanks. Treasurer's report.
Thank you. 2 things. One, I sent out the spreadsheet summary last night. For July, first month of the fiscal year, so there's really not much to say. If you manage to look at it closely, you'll see things are in a bit of a different order. So I changed the spreadsheet to make it a little bit easier for me to go transferring and combining numbers from the big sheet that I get to this sheet to reduce the amount of time it takes to build this spreadsheet. That's yeah. So you see the budget loaded up and the income is actually expenses, we didn't get some expenses this month that we thought we were going to. I mean, bills didn't come, so. That's,
Is that utilities? Is that?
yeah, I think it was utilities.
Yeah, 'cause that's
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah.
And that's, but the utilities, I think there is a pre-buy in that 8K.
Oh,
So that's why it's high.
okay.
Anyway. So that'll be the format that we carry. It's a little bit simpler than last year, especially down in the other income piece. I kind of closed that up a little bit. As I've figured out what's actually going on or understand everything there. There's money moving around behind the curtain. The reserves are up about 100K over 2 months. That's kind of what I would think. Market's a little bit. The reserves are so carefully, conservatively invested that if else the market just takes a real tumble, we won't see big changes in that. On the reserve subject, we have no members of the board anymore that are on the authorized account listing for Morgan Stanley, so we can't actually access any of our money because there's no unauthorized access. So we have been working over the last, for those that are not exactly, over the last 6 weeks or so, once we figure this out, to get the 4 exec members. We had to reach back to Joe Boyd to sign a letter authorizing it. What came out at the end of last week was that the back office, the underwriters, the authority in Morgan Stanley, the guys behind the Green Curtain, decided that the letter wasn't quite enough. They wanted some kind of authority, so I sent them the minutes from the February board meeting. Which was the meeting that elected me as the treasurer replacing Joe. So we're hopeful that the lawyers in Morgan Stanley decide that that's enough. The only other thing we can do is have a letter that Tom signs as the president of the board, but since he's a member, it's a it all becomes a self-interest. So I'm hopeful that we can get a yes out of them. I sent that in Friday afternoon. I don't have an answer yet, but they are seem to have energized on getting us access to our money because I told them we're sitting on transactions that we actually need to execute. We've got $250,000 sitting in checking at the moment. That was the second half of the bequest that we got last year at the end of the fiscal year that we're going to move into one of the smaller accounts. I'm going to also discuss combining the two smaller accounts into one smaller account that we have access to rather than the covered main account. So maybe not put that number in. It's
If they come
Just
back and
reminding
say
people.
that's not enough,
yeah.
and then would a document signed by all the board members be?
So that'll be the next. Okay, so
Here's the question. Is Jack still on there?
no.
Because that's how far back it
No, I don't.
goes with some of them.
There's no cross pollination. So I'm hopeful this will do it. That is formal minutes of a formal vote, replacing one with finger. So hopefully that carries it. I didn't send out the end of fiscal year report. Basically, we ended up at $6,000 or $13,000 in the black. It all sort of, for those kind of little tiny numbers, the accountants will probably zero that out. But bottom line is we're end of the fiscal year, right? Exactly where we were during our June meeting, so our July meeting. So we did quite well last year in holding very tightly to the budget for everything that was within our control. The utilities were a bit of a bust, and we're still kind of peeling that back to see what we can do this year. We did modestly increase the utility number for this year's budget, but I didn't allow us to fund to the desired number, which is what we used last year. So we'll want to play with that.
All right, the rates might be scooching up a little bit anyway.
Yeah, as they always will.
Spreadsheet's really clear, thank you.
Good. Yeah, if you have any suggestions, I mean, this is just something I made up, so it's just me. There's no ownership here. So if you would like to see things in a different order or in less detail, more detail, this is more detail than it used to be. We talked about that when I came on board.
It's very helpful and clear.
Yeah.
But this allows me and Claire and Jane to sort of look at, or Jane's into it for the eyeballs, but this sort of lets us kind of look at a easy to read, okay, yeah, we're actually doing okay, or we're up here, we're down here.
Great. Questions for Denny? Any questions for Denny? Okay, motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented. Is there one? Thank you. Second, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
One of the reasons we have you on the board is because we figured you had some extensive experience with red tape. All the confidence we work through this.
You will eventually get access to our.
Okay. All right, Susan. Susan's last meeting. We're sad to see you go, but we're so happy that you could be with us for the time that you were.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been great. are you losing actual people and actual staff? Is that one of the things that will be changing your scope, or is it, just,
Yeah, so we had a
More
pretty
workload?
significant budget cut for this school year, and I have a part-time assistant, but her position was cut even more. So it's austerity measures, and I'm anticipating, more time.
extra time? Sure.
And
Okay.
Is that Mary Ann?
yes.
And we have taken her on here at this library as a sub to fill in her hours that were cut at the high school.
Yeah. Be looking for part-time positions soon.
We
Right.
will be looking for a very part-time position soon.
Do you need volunteers? Like, could we get volunteers or that is harder to manage, maybe, you know?
Oh, I would be open to it. Thank you very much for suggesting that. Yeah, I apply for grants, so I'll continue to do that. And we do have a really big event planned for this year. We'll host the Vermont Teen Lit Model, which is like a Vermont literary festival for young adults. So 200 kids from all over Vermont will come. Will participate in the program. So the book is The Light Pirate by Lily Brooks Dalton, and she'll be the keynote speaker on Monday. And other authors will come, and there will be workshops. So yes, we would be totally open to
When is
having
that?
some volunteers. That will be Friday, April the 11th.
Commit to anything that far.
Well, you have 5 years left, you said.
Get that.
I hope that Susan. That would be fun.
Yes,
I think
well,
more
I,
that day.
I'll include Lauren Williams
Okay.
on the application for the Vermont Youth Grants.
Right, of
Get
course.
books to you, and
Okay,
I look forward to collaborating with you, of course, Claire, and we'll stay in touch.
okay.
Oh, you're welcome. You're very.
Well, good luck,
Thank you.
and thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Remember, you can come voluntarily to the meetings.
In all your free time.
So with that said, we are down one board member. So we wanted to let everyone know that, and I think sort of have everyone think about who you might know, or if you have anybody in mind who you think might be a good addition to the board, because we will replace Susan. And that would bring us back up to our number of 11 board members. And so we don't, need to bring anybody to the table now, but maybe in preparation for the next meeting, or if you want to communicate to, to the board before the next meeting, we can do that if you know of somebody who would be interested in the board. We're typically thinking about people who are, so they're people like us. So there's a passion for books and all things library. There would be a willingness to collaborate with the expanded community on library initiatives and library needs. Someone who's on the board should have sort of a collaborative spirit, a strategic thinker, and somebody who I think has a sense of diverse perspectives as it relates to libraries and how libraries are meeting the needs of so many people in the community. So if
I think it's also really important that they have the time to devote to attending fundraisers and attending meetings and.
exactly, so in specifics.
To be in person.
Yes, so in specifics, it's about that. It's about coming to meetings. It's about coming to our special events that we have. Exactly, participating in committees, fundraisers, right? All of those things. In addition to, we ask that our board members participate in contributing financially to the library. That's important with our ongoing financial charitable efforts that we have. So exactly, those would be the specifics.
Is there any specific skills that we would want to add to the board that we don't have?
You're referring to legal, financial,
Yeah.
architectural,
Yes.
engineering, things like that.
Mhm.
Well, the person you had in mind has a background in development and fundraising.
Right, Emily Lev. She's the director of public relations at the Vermont Historical Society. She has a very strong background in fundraising.
Mhm. How about legal?
I bring our lawyers around, we can.
I think we have that.
Okay.
We could find a decent roofer and
That's the skill that we need.
Some
I would
can
think-
use the hammer.
Building manager.
Eric and I have little kids, but if there was someone could more bring in a perspective on older, older kids who use the library, teens or.
Well, the woman I'm speaking of,
Mhm.
her partner has 3 children. And I'm gonna say they're 2nd grade, 5th grade, and 8th grade,
Yeah, that would be great.
maybe,
That would be great.
and they're in the library a lot. So, and happened since they were tiny babies.
Good. Great. Okay, so thank you in advance for everyone's thoughts on that. And final thing on the agenda is that we wanted to say, I think in a way, thank you for everybody who is here in person. Zoom is an amazing thing to have available to us because it's very helpful when board members can't be here. And there are definitely times when board members can't be here. And in my past, going way back, we would have challenges with quorums and it was just a waste of time. And Zoom has really resolved a lot of that. And so we're so happy that Zoom is here. We want to encourage our board to be here in person, if at all possible, simply from the standpoint of collaboration and back and forth and formal and informal conversations. I think there's a feeling that there's a certain level of productivity that's a little bit different when we're all here in person. Not to mention, it's just nice to see everybody here. So I know the room's a little small and the tables are small, but it's great to have everyone here. And we're not discounting the need for Zoom and when people are in exotic locations and need to Zoom in. It is very helpful.
There's
So
New York and Maine.
thank you.
So exotic.
Thanks for coming in person.
Yeah.
If you can come in person, it's great. And then if you can't, it's fully understood. And so that's our small plea from the executive committee, I'd say, of the board. If that's okay.
Okay.
Sound all right?
Mhm.
Okay. And I think, does anybody have anything else? Because that's all we have on the agenda.
Bingo, next month. $5 a card.
What day did I say that was gonna be? September,
9:25.
September 25th. We're having bingo here at the library.
That.
Adrian is gonna be our caller, so that'll be really fun. Adrian,
Oh, fun.
so he's really fun. We're borrowing equipment from the Bugby Senior Center.
And it's like Thursday after dark. And it's just, you
It's
know,
Thursday at did I say 7?
yeah, well, that's.
Okay.
It would be, but.
It's just an hour, it's $5 a bingo card.
Right, we can run around, I mean, yeah, 10 o'clock at that time, but,
It's BYOB.
Is it?
yeah.
That time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we hope is that.
Went to bed before.
How's it set up and what's that expectation for numbers?
We don't really have any expectations for numbers. That's why when I went over to Bugby to play bingo, so I could see what it was all about. And that was a real treat. But then I asked if we could borrow their equipment. I said, we don't want to invest in it if it falls flat. And it might. But we won't know if we don't try.
Okay.
And so it's not really a fundraiser as much as it's just trying to get people to think about the library for all ages.
Right.
As a place to hang out and see people, and then
Right.
also we'll do the ask and we'll maybe do some education, just talking just making a little announcement about what we're up to, but.
Right. So it'll be
Okay.
really fun.
Still animated.
It's just a really easy, fun, hopefully, event.
And there'll be a kitty, right?
And there'll be a kitty, and there'll be prizes for every round. We don't quite have that all worked out yet, but we will.
Sounds great.
Maybe it'll be a library tote bag, for the grand winner of the night or something. I don't know. Nothing big.
Yeah.
But it'll be a fun evening.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Good. Analog's okay. So.
I know.
I'm all about it. Just learned to use my phone to pay.
Yeah, we'll pass the pen. All right. Well, thank you for that. Anything else for the meeting?
Thanks to the.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry, I open stripes.
I know, they coordinate, right?